Welcome to lesson 058 of Online School of Entrepreneurship. I am Dr. Kirian Mfam. In today's lecture, we will dwell on the meaning of pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Upon completion of this lecture, our audience will be able to define pedagogy and pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Introduction. Pedagogy in educational vernacular has gained currency as a substitute for methods of instruction or techniques of teaching. Pedagogy is concerned with the teaching processes. Instructors or teachers at all levels of entrepreneurship education need to ensure that they put into practice teaching methods, teaching materials, and instructional strategies in such a manner that will contribute in notable and promoting student learning of entrepreneurship. Furthermore, there are a number of principles, practices, and procedures involved in teaching entrepreneurship that are not only aimed towards augmenting student learning, but also in leading to upgrading of the overall system of entrepreneurship education. Within the course of time, it is necessary to make use of modern scientific and pioneering methods in the pedagogical practices of entrepreneurship education. But when any changes and improvements are to be brought about, it needs to be ensured they are favorable to the students learning entrepreneurship. The students should make use of them in an effective manner and achieve academic goals relating to the study of entrepreneurship. Therefore, it can be stated that pedagogical methods are fundamental in promoting student learning, achieving academic goals, and in enriching the overall system of entrepreneurship education. Meaning of pedagogy of entrepreneurship. Pedagogy of entrepreneurship is the encompassing term that is concerned with what the instructors do to influence the learning of entrepreneurship education. Pedagogy of entrepreneurship develops from a range of factors, including theories and research evidence, political drivers, evidence from practice, individual and group reflection, educators' experience and expertise, community expectations, and requirements for teaching and learning entrepreneurship. The important area that needs to be understood when understanding the meaning and significance of pedagogy are the duty of teaching and the responsibility of applying divergent instructional methods. It forms both the curriculum, that is, all the interactions, experiences, tasks, and activities, routines and events, planned and unplanned, and teaching in a service. The concept of pedagogy is regarded as a complicated phenomenon comprising of a variety of practices supported by the principles that are acquired through training as a result of professional experience and personal understanding of the teacher. In other words, the professional experience of the individuals and the personal understandings of the teacher are regarded as essential factors that are taken into consideration in understanding the meaning and significance of pedagogy. What then is pedagogy? Pedagogy in itself is a contested term, but involves activities that evoke changes in the learner. Pedagogy is the art and science of teaching. Pedagogy is defined as a key lever for bringing about improvement in the academic performance of students. Pedagogy of entrepreneurship is concerned with the fact that both theory and practice should be taken into account or cognizance in terms of how knowledge relating to entrepreneurship is produced. When the instructors of entrepreneurship are putting into practice pedagogical methods in an effective manner, they will render an important contribution in promoting the learning of entrepreneurship education. Returning to the etymological roots of pedagogue, one finds that the term refers not to a teacher, but a slave who cared for and accompanied a student to and from school. From this perspective, pedagogy as the actions of pedagogues implies an inter-individual relationship based on the concern of one for another. Moving this relational understanding of pedagogy into the realm of entrepreneurship education, teachers stand in pedagogical relationship to students, placed in a position to lead students towards academic and personal growth. The very nature of teaching and pedagogic action is animated by continuous discernment and constant determination. In this sense, the why and what of pedagogy are focused together by the nature of the relationship between a teacher and student. From this understanding of pedagogy, the relational and reflexive nature of teaching becomes apparent. Behind every pedagogic action lays the intent of the pedagogue. Watkins and Mortimer, 1999, defined pedagogy as any conscious activity by one person designed to enhance learning in another. Logram, 2008, defined pedagogy in teacher education as knowledge of teaching about teaching and a knowledge of learning about teaching, and how the two influence one another in the pedagogic episodes that teacher educators create to offer students of teaching experiences that might inform their developing views of practice. In this case, the practice of entrepreneurship. Accounting for the intersection of knowledge about teaching and moments when something pedagogic is expected of the teacher educator. Pedagogy is as much interactive as it is deliberative. Bernstein 2000 noted that pedagogy is a sustained process whereby somebody acquires new forms or develops existing forms of conduct, knowledge, practice, and criteria from somebody or something deemed to be an appropriate provider and evaluator. Bernstein contrasts two models of pedagogy that focus on the teacher's organization, management, discourse, and response to the students, and which provides a useful theoretical framework within which to understand different pedagogic approaches. 1. Performance model. Visible pedagogies where the teacher explicitly spells out to the students what and how they are to learn, with a recognizable strong framing or lesson structure, collective ways of behaving, and standardized outcomes. And 2. Competence model. Invisible pedagogies with weaker framing that results in an ostensibly more informal approach where the teacher responds to individual students' needs with hidden or unfocused learning outcomes. This review found Alexander's definition of pedagogy most useful, wherein teaching is an act, while pedagogy is both act and discourse. Pedagogy comprises teachers' ideas, beliefs, attitudes, knowledge, and understanding about the curriculum, the teaching and learning process, and their students, and which impact on their teaching practices. That is, what teachers actually think, do, and say in the classroom. Alexander 2009 stressed that pedagogy is related to the act of teaching, its policies, supporting theories, and encompasses the knowledge, skills, and values that teachers have and need to be equipped with to make and explain there are different teaching decisions which makes pedagogy and teaching interdependent. In the words of Alexander 2009, I distinguish pedagogy as discourse from teaching as art, yet I make them inseparable. Pedagogy then encompasses both the act of teaching and its contingent theories and debates. Pedagogy is a discourse with which one needs to engage in order both to teach intelligently and make sense of teaching. For discourse and act are interdependent, and there can be no teaching without pedagogy, or pedagogy without teaching. In Alexander's 2009 definition, pedagogy is not restricted to understanding what happens inside the classroom, only because it requires an awareness of the interaction between teachers, students, the learning environment, and the world outside. In the course of this lecture, and in line with our instructional objectives, we were able to define pedagogy and pedagogy of entrepreneurship education. Please support us by 1. Following us on our Facebook page, Online School of Entrepreneurship. 2. Subscribing to our YouTube channel, Entrepreneurship Teacher. And 3. Liking, commenting, and sharing our post. Thank you, and see you in our next lecture.